Big up, everyone. Good night, and it's Tuesday. We got breaking news, and it's late 10:30 p.m. UK time, and the news have just been released. David Ornstein with the big tweet that every United fan and possible football fan was waiting for more than 2 weeks since United lifted the FA Cup, unlikely to do so, but ended up doing so, beating Manchester City, and now the old debate about the manager and whether or not he's going to be here for next season is over. The manager stays, and there's going to be further discussion for an extension on his contract, as per reports by David Ornstein just a few moments ago. Guys, what are your thoughts in the comments? Smash those like buttons, get in, hit me a like, retweet on X for those of you watching, and those of you in the chat, smash those like buttons. Let's get the show started. I got some of my buddies in the background and halftime with Vegeta. I'm sure he can't wait to give you his views. Let's get into the show, guys. Big up to you, my bro, Vegeta. Tell me how you're feeling, bro. I'm not even going to say anything. Just get in. Just tell me what you're thinking.
Well, first of all, the media that was saying that Ten Hag is going to leave right before the game have egg in their face. They can suck it. I absolutely hate what they did, trying to cause our team to be in the wrong mindset just before a final game. In fact, all of those people should stop calling themselves journalists. They're just in the know, people who just want clicks. So you know what, bro? I'm just relieved, bro. We can focus on what's important. And I will say this, it's the first time in our 10 years, people, listen, first time in our 10 years where the manager has won and these players have to come to the realization that he's going nowhere. They can either perform or they can get the hell out of this team. And that's what I'm excited about. Let's focus on getting players out of this club. No more player FC, no more sentimentality. Get the rubbish players out of this club and let the manager finish the work that he started. That's what I'm happy about.
Bro, I can't begin to tell you the relief. You know what I mean? Like these last few weeks has been difficult. I bet it has been just as difficult for the fans who would like Ten Hag to be removed, for fans who were in doubt, and for the fans who wanted him to stay. And as GB is saying, all hail ETH, big up to the manager. I'm pretty sure, and this is just for my opinion, guys. I'm just gonna say it like this. I feel like this was always the plan. They were always going to announce this a few days before the transfer window. I always thought, for some strange reason, it was really, really fishy the way the media was just propagating his out, and he's going to be sacked today, sacked tomorrow, sacked the next week. The decisions are going to be made. I just feel like when he was asked in the last few press conferences, he said that they were already doing that same research and investigation on the performance of players, the team, the manager. All these things were being done since Ineos came into the club since January. So I just had this strange feeling for me that it was always going to be ETH staying, and maybe, just maybe, the managers that they were interviewing were possibly for not just Manchester United, but maybe they were for OG Nice. Now, I could say that, and that could be a theory. It might be totally wrong. They could have been possibly interviewing managers, possibly for Ten Hag, or possibly for future replacement of Ten Hag. But what matters most right now is that they came out, they backed the manager. We know for now, for sure, that he's going to be the manager next season. And this is what we have been waiting for, because we need to get the transfers on the road. And that's the most important thing. Get the players in line, get the players who you want to come in, get them to understand the project. They know who the manager is going to be right now, and let them come in, guys. Because you know what? Like people are saying, I feel like players were probably a little bit unsure of what was going to happen, especially players in the club who just came into the team, especially some of the young talents. what a new coach is going to bring. It's going to bring something uncertainty for a lot of them, including Garnacho, Mainu, even new players coming into the squad. So I'm totally excited about this news because I always thought that if we kept Eric Ten Hag, we would be definitely progressing next season. So it's really great. I hope that you guys are just feeling the same energy that I'm feeling. Now we can focus on the transfers, which players are coming into the squad, and how soon that we get these transfers done, which is the most important thing in this summer window. Are we going to see the outs that we want to see now? Are we going to see a lot of outs happening really fast with players who were like hoping that Eric Ten Hag was not going to be here so they could remain at the club? Are we going to see those players put in their request to leave? What are your thoughts, Vegeta?
Nah, bro, they should do that tonight. They seeing the same news that we're seeing. If they want to not play for Eric, then get out, bro. I'm more excited about the outgoings because for the longest time it's been 2 seasons a manager gets fired. 2 seasons a manager gets fired. And for once, we've got somebody who's staying for a third season. Yeah, Sancho, sorry, bro. Your gamble did not pay off. You took a gamble, you thought the manager would be gone by now. It didn't pay off. So clearly, somebody like you needs to be putting in his transfer today, tonight, right now. We should be seeing breaking news. Sancho puts in. You know what, guys? Ineos might have balls. These guys might even go as far as to say, you know what? We're keeping the manager and we're keeping Mason Greenwood. What now?
Bro, well, you know my theory on that already. I already told you before. I told you if they keep Ten Hag, he might have a bigger chance of staying than anything else because, I would like to remind everyone that Eric Ten Hag was talked about two players on the day when he signed for United in his press conference. One was Marcus Rashford, and the second was Mason Greenwood. And what he said about Mason Greenwood, he's waiting for news to see what's happening because, he's a very talented player. And of course, he would like to have him playing football. We know that Eric Ten Hag also wanted Mason Greenwood to be back in the team this season. He planned for him to be in the squad. The players also all committed, to standing firm with Mason Greenwood backing him and, having him being a support system for him back in the squad, which would have been last season. But it didn't happen. Fans protested him out and he was gone to Getafe, where he performed really well this season. He was one of their best players, their player of the season. He impacted their season greatly with 12 goals and about 8 assists. I think he did really well in the league there in Spain for his first season back after 18 months. And this just shows that the work ethic, the effort, and the talent that this player has to be out of football for 18 months and still be able to perform at the highest levels in a top league. It has to be commended. And I know a lot of fans have different feelings and different vibes about this player, but you know what, guys? This is a new Man United. We have to change. We need to make some bold statements, and we need to make some bold changes. We need to stand strong and stand firm and united as a fan base. And we need to change the rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Sport
bro.
should be free and open for everyone. You know what I mean? If anything and anywhere could rehabilitate someone and anyone has the responsibility, we brought this player from a 8-year-old up all the way to his talent right now. He's one of our own. He's an academy graduate and one of the best, right? So, like the manager, if we could give the manager a second chance, which some fans probably are willing to do, the fans who are 10 out, unlike me, I think we could just go all the way and just give second chances across the board right now. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be a good support system for him having Anthony next to him because Anthony was dealing something similar. Maybe they could grow and share exchanges with each other, and you have a squad that is willing to back them. I think that camaraderie is something that we should not ignore as United fans. I don't know what your thoughts are, guys, but let me know what you're thinking. This is great news. I'm super excited to see what's going to happen. As you know, Friday, the transfer window opens. So let's get into business, guys.
Yeah,
Fajina,
bro.
what are
And
you
I've got like a
thinking,
few
man?
more thoughts, because I think people are underestimating what this whole thing means. Because if you look at the news from what's his name, Ornstein, he doesn't just say we're keeping him, but that they're also talking about an extension. So it's not just that they're keeping him for the last season of his contract, but they're also looking at beyond. Hey, shout out Mental Ball Game. They're
You're
looking at
mental.
beyond the this season. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they might give him another 2 years. Who knows? And I think that's good news. But also, guys, I always said, even though I had strong feelings towards Eric, you still need to give the new structure, like as in Omar, Dan, and Wilcox, an opportunity to put their feet underneath the table. And as much as they've been around for a while, these guys haven't been in their positions long enough to start making footballing decisions that we can start seeing on the pitch. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Like, they actually need to start working with Eric, because the last people that Eric worked with are not here anymore. He had to work with John Murto and people going for pina coladas and never coming back with anything. So you get what I'm saying, bro. So I think those things are necessary. They need to start, clamping down on contracts, clamping down on one of the most important things they've done is leaks. Because if you notice, nobody knew, bro. Ornstein was giving up to say, guys, we don't know. And I think we're gonna see the same pattern in our transfer, in that we're gonna be, you know, linked to everybody under the sun. And nobody will actually know the truth until United says, boom, here's the player. Some people might be even shocked by some of the outgoings. I don't want to see a Luke Shaw second chance. He's had his second chances. Go, 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 go. Go far away from my club. Give Ten Hag the players that can play his football, that want to play his football, and are going to be here for the long haul, not for the money. So this is great news for United fans, and it provides a level of stability. Now the narrative can be controlled by us, not the media. And I hope Ten Hag comes with some swagger, because these media people had chest for him. Do you think you're gonna lose your job? Honey, what do you guys think? I'm still here. How about that? Bro, I think you're on mute.
They requested your presence, my brother. And welcome to the stream. Big up to you, Olmo. What's good, my bro? And I
What's
know
good?
you're not, you're smiling because you're happy secretly, because I think
You
you
know,
see that there could be progress.
no,
So
no.
let's hear what you have to say.
I'm smiling because when people request my presence, I don't run and hide. Like I show up. Listen, first of all, that's it. Tell how you stay in. Like I'm disappointed but not surprised. Disappointed, not surprised, because that FA Cup give him life. I'm like, there's no reason why the FA Cup should give him life. I'm reading through the article, and Jim Ratcliffe and Braceful were the two people that decided he should stay. So pretty much we're going the Nice route, because that's the same thing that happened when they took over Nice. They did foolishness until the director of football came. So Wilcox, Omar Barada, Dan Ashworth, those three have never started working at all. So they want to keep Ten Hag. I'm like, okay, so pretty much we're wasting a year right now. That's how I see it right now. A year is being wasted. We're not gonna do nothing this year. Should, wait, hold up. Now that is his third year, he's supposed to challenge for the league, right? Not win. I said challenge. So he got to get at least one, two, or three. And no 4, 5, 6. It's one, two, or three. He got to challenge. That's how I say. He's not supposed to. I'm not expecting to win, but if the win is a good thing. But he's supposed to challenge slash win for the league.
I agree.
Listen. I'm just gonna be watching. I'm just gonna be watching in silence, and I'm gonna be watching it. And we'll look at every match differently. I'm like, okay, so you're not going for the league, huh? You're not challenging, huh? Don't worry. And somebody said that you get him his players. Don't get him his players, because again, what's he gonna do with his players? He has his players right now. Only one of his players that he has that they bought from that work is San Martinez. That's it. You don't. There's not enough Dida Malas here. Anthony is this. You know Mount. You know
15
Hoyland.
goals from Hoyland in all comps.
Come
That's
on.
not a good progress
The
for a
first, the
debut
first, the
striker.
first, the first 7 goals Hoyland scored, there was no assist to him. Again, as I said,
No,
Hoyland,
but I mean that's okay though. But he
Anthony.
was he was definitely one of the players that was a success, I would say, in a sense. For first season, a youngster,
Okay.
I
You
would
can say
say so.
it's a set. So it's probably only two. Casimir in the first season, second season didn't work out. I'm about towards the end of the season it worked out. What else? Um,
I think Malasia last season was
no,
turning out to be a
there's
surprise
not enough
signing.
data on Malasia. That's why I don't mention his name. He was injured, so I'm not gonna
Well,
put that on
true, well,
him.
true, well, true.
So not enough
I
data on
agree.
Malasia, and that's about it.
I mean, like realistically, right? To be fair, I'm a little bit disappointed with some of the performances of especially like players like Anthony, because I kind of support him. I would like him to do well. I've seen him playing in the Dutch league. I've seen him play for Brazil. I think he has a lot of talent. I just think he hasn't been able to express himself and get the output and performances in that he really wants. He's a guy that to me shows a drive and a determination and a feisty nature to play for United and give his best. It just wasn't happening this season. At the same time, I'll say it like this. I feel like there's something we have to do, give the manager a little bit of time. All managers have signings that don't work out. And I feel focusing on Ten Hag's first season, which was really, where we performed in a kind of, I would say, a decent fashion. And some of the signings did work out, whether you want to agree that they are his signings or they are not. Because in my opinion, we have one or two signings that maybe were like stopgaps, like a Casemiro stopgap, Ericsson stopgap. I think Mason Mount was a club signing, but reality, some of his signings didn't work out, the majority of them. But you know what? Maybe if he had, maybe the next couple signings might hit the ground running. We need some centre backs who could play the high line, and facilitate the profile for the system that he want to play. So I feel like if we get those players in, we definitely improve. If we get in a top midfielder to play in that DM role, we
I
definitely
was about
improve.
to say, yeah, we need a DM
This
desperately. Like
this
it's
this man
been an
this man
ongoing
this man
problem.
still wants Frankie De Jong.
Yo, Olmo, do me a favor. Just jump in settings and click on or go in audio and just put on echo cancellation level and background noise reduction,
Turn
please.
it turn echo cancellation on.
Yeah, turn it on. Big up, 100%. There we go. Back to the show, guys.
Yeah,
Sorry
yeah.
about the echo.
As in, I don't want him like getting his players. Like I don't need him getting his players. Because
I don't think
this
I
man
don't
is still
think they
crying for
should.
Frankie De Jong.
I don't think they should be his players or more personally. I think they should be players for a system that the club wants to play. So that if in the event, let's say hypothetically, I mean today we're looking at he's staying, but let's say hypothetically he goes, the next manager shouldn't be coming in and saying rip everything up because that's been another problem. We bought players for Wenger. Another person comes in. I don't like these players. We buy players for another manager. So I think that's another thing that has to be addressed. I don't think that this is the final piece. And like we're saying, we need to give people an opportunity to put their feet under the table and actually work.
Exactly. And Yali, my brother, how you doing, bro? I know me and you, we just have
As
a
in,
little banter, right? But I totally agree with what you're saying here.
as
Good day
in,
for ETH. He has the heart of steel. After disrespect the club shown him, he chose to stay. I couldn't do that, and I have respect for him for doing that. He now needs at least a 3-year contract. Well, as the reports have stated, they're in negotiations to extend his contract. We know the club already had an option for a +1 on his contract, so maybe they just make it a 2-year
it,
and keep the +1. So if they need it, they have three. He would have three in effect because he would have
no,
this season
it's only
and two
two.
more.
It's only two.
It's two now. No, it's two now currently
No,
because they're going to
it's one
trigger.
now. He's
It's
in his
one
con.
now with a +1. His
Yes,
contract was a 3-year with a +1, right? So
yes,
technically, is 1 + 1. And if
yes.
they in negotiation talks, I think they will give him 2 years and they will
Extra
keep
two
the
years.
+1. No, they will give him 2 years. So they will. So from this season here, 18 months with the +1 still on the contract. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
So so in how many would be everything be?
Well, it will be 2 years
Hy-
+1.
Hypothetically,
Oh,
it'd be five in total if you think about it. So he
five.
currently has a
No,
three-year
actually, I'm
contract
not saying
plus
five.
one.
Actually, I'm saying just three.
Yeah,
But
no,
the
I'm saying
reason why I
like
say, yeah, you understand. So the
yeah.
first 2 seasons plus three more. But
Oh,
the
okay, so
fifth one
five.
will be
Okay.
the +1 on the contract. The fifth one will be because
uh,
Olmo, look at it like this, right? And this is just me
no, no, no,
thinking
no. No,
hypothetically.
I see. Just that I'm looking at it because he that Ashford, Omar Barada, and Jason Wilcox. Those three haven't started work yet. They're gonna
True.
come in. They're gonna come in. They're gonna be fighting this manager already.
They
I know they're
won't.
gonna be fighting this
You
manager.
see, Olmo, you see, one of the reasons why I like Omar Barada so much, and I don't know if you really know, but if you go to his page on Twitter, you could pull up. I think the post was 2022 in November somewhere there. I think that's where the post was, where he was like looking at a young manager coaching at Ajax, brilliant style of play. Would love to have him at Man City. We'll see how the next couple of years go for him. He will definitely be receiving a tipping from me to replace Pep Guardiola in the event that he leaves. And this was something that not only happened then, he also did mention Eric Ten Hag in a board meeting. He said it already as well on his profile on X if you notice on X, if you go through his page, he has lots of quotes about Manchester United over the last 5, 6 seasons. He's been talking about the way we do transfers. He's been talking about how we could improve. He's been talking about managers that he would get in, and this is why I'm pretty excited because I think Omar Barada slightly favors Ten Hag. I also think John Claude Blanc is a fan of Ten Hag. I've heard reports where John Claude Blanc was one of the main people in the backroom staff that was appreciative of what Ten Hag was doing all season, even though we're not putting in results. You know what I mean? So don't stress. You know what I mean? I think Dan Ashworth will be the one that might not like Ten Hag because, as we know, he's quite a fan of a yes man manager. It's why he left Brighton because he didn't have that with Graham Potter, but he also doesn't have that with Eddie Howe. So that's why another reason why he wants to leave Newcastle. So I'm not ever going to be a huge fan of Dan Ashworth until he puts the proof in front of me of his ability, because I don't think he's best in class. I think he's just one of the top of the class that does well at his job. That's just my opinion.
All this is gonna be funny because listen, he is supposed to challenge for the league, and they're gonna get like I don't get it. Like as a new management, you buy a house, you want to change the furniture, but like you still keeping the same furniture. Like okay,
It's not, but you don't always do it all at once. Let's be honest. If we're gonna use the moving in analogy, you first analyze the house itself and its furniture in this case, and based on the budget available to you, you make decisions, right? That's why I think the medium, the happy medium for me is to activate the 1 year extension. So basically, he has this year plus the next season, and then if you look at this season, then it makes it 3 seasons, which is an odd number. So then he either has 2 good seasons and 1 bad, which for me, you keep him if he does that. Because what we've done as fans is we've had a good season, we championed him, and then we had a bad season and we hated him and we want him out. So it's almost like based out of three. I don't know if that makes sense.
you you know
Get
you know you know that was it people in Neos they have a 3 year plan, right? 3 year plan, and pretty much you're just saying year one is gone already. Like you're keeping this somebody you didn't hire. You're using him as your 3 year plan. This is a disaster waiting to happen. A
but we can't
disaster,
speak
I pray that we're alive to see this in 3 years. In 3 years to see where we are, and I will bring this up. I will bring this back up again in 3 years. Like I hope we're alive to see this. No, I'm gonna tweet this out.
Can I ask
I'm
you,
gonna
Omo,
tweet this out.
what's more important to us as fans? Is it being right or being successful? Because I feel like sometimes we're upset not because of the decision itself, but that we were not right. We can't speak in absolutes to say that Ten
I
Hog
speak in
staying
absolute.
will be no, but we're almost saying it's a foregone conclusion that we're losing a year. How do we know this? We're not a
But
year into that. They only made the decision tonight. We can only see the ramifications of that over the course of the season. So we can either, and this is the thing about supporting a manager or players, you're always going to be disappointed irrespective. Whereas if you're the supporter of a club, all you can do is sit back, support, and see what the results are, and actually judge it on the actual results, not on what might happen.
big up, Peter. What's good, bro? How are you doing, man?
We got Mark, guys, chat. How you doing? Yeah,
Chilling.
I'm not surprised. Um, you know, my views from the last season. I was at Eric Ten Hag outer, but when he won the FA Cup, I said, he had 1 year left on his contract, and this is a logical decision to keep him.
100%.
It's a problem that we don't need to deal with. You understand? Yeah. So, but I've been saying this all the time. Ineos are going to implement their structure into Manchester United. Yeah. When, if obviously one day Eric Ten Hag will leave Man United. When another manager comes in, he will slot into Ineos's philosophy of what they want to do and how they want to play football and the production line of things. This is just the beginning of the process. Why
100%.
spend 9 million on sacking a manager when He's just won an FA Cup. At least give the guy some credence. And that's what they've done. They've given him some credence and go, okay, then. You know, what will happen next season? Basically, Eric Ten Hag next season has got a free hit. They're saying to Eric Ten Hag, okay, then show us what you can do. You know what? If you want a new contract, ball.
Yeah,
Get us in the Champions League, win another trophy. Maybe we'll
that,
give it another deal.
that's
That's what they're saying to him.
that's what they need to
In
say.
the meantime, they're working behind the lines, putting things into place. It's a bit slow, guys. What's going on? You know, let's not
Yeah.
make no bones about this, Mark and chat. They've been in charge for 6 months, Ineos, and they haven't implemented what they want to do already. You know, 6 months mightn't seem a lot, but in business, it's a long time. Yeah. So obviously, there's problems behind the scenes going on, and keeping with Ten Hag is just one of them decisions that they don't have to worry about. Simple as that.
100%. Peter, is one of those things for me. I feel like it's a lot of things involved. One, it's not a decision we need to be focusing on right now. We need to be bringing
Exactly.
in
Yeah.
players for the club. We need, because Peter, for me, a lot of fans think about, getting rid of the dead wood. But when we get rid of the dead wood, we need to replace the dead wood. The biggest problem is when we replace the dead wood, what about adding to the dead wood? When I say
Yeah.
add to the dead wood, I mean add players to the bench that are this almost the same quality as those that starting in the starting 11. We haven't really done that for the last couple of managers. If you look
No,
at
we
it, we
haven't.
usually just
No.
sell the first teamers and barely replace them. We have no striker but Hoyland at the moment. We never replaced Ronaldo. We never replaced Cavani. You know what I mean? We went from having three strikers to having one.
You know what, Mark, guys? Be under no illusion next season. We're in for the hard season. We're going to have to dig in and make a fist of it. You understand what I'm saying? Because we're not going to get the players we really want. We're putting foundations down. You can't build an house until the foundations are built, can you? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you're going to have to, we're going to take a few ones on the chin next season. But it's just the way it is. Rome wasn't built in a day, guys. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
It's not
100%.
built in a day. So we're there. As long as we can be competitive, then that's all we can ask for.
But
That's it. That what else can we do?
Peter, what this does for me, right? This is the biggest reason I wanted Eric Ten Hag to stay, because I wanted the players who felt that they had the power to decide who manages them next season
Yeah.
know that they don't have that power anymore. I want those players to get the mindset that, listen, I need to play my football because it's not like it was before. This changes the entire dynamic. We might see the
Yeah.
united mentality return and to stay. And this is what we want as fans. Like, regardless
Yeah.
of what, we want players who gonna walk out on that pitch week in, week out, and run themselves for the badge, play their hearts out for the fans. We
I
don't
mean,
want players who will play half rated or not give up their best or opt out of games because they don't like a manager. It
I
should
mean,
never be about that. It should always be about the fans.
I've just been on Adam's stream, FUTV stream, and obviously it's mixed opinions. There's a lot of people, like I said, I wanted Eric Ten Hag out this season, but beating Man City for me bought him you can finish your contract off. Fair play. That's it. You can only be fair in life, can't you? You can be ruthless, but you also have to be fair as well. When a man earns his bread, then he's allowed to eat it. You understand what I'm saying? I'm beating Man
100%.
City in the FA Cup. He earns his bread, so let the guy eat it. Okay,
100%.
he's got a year left. That's not a problem. We can concentrate on other things. For me, right, listen, I'll say this now and I mean it. And I haven't got a problem with the man or any player, whatever race, colour or creed, whatever. If Ineos is serious, they need to sell Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, bro.
They need to sell him
Bro,
this window. They need to sell him to put that message out there that one, we're not going to be mugged off. Two, we don't care who you are. Three, you're playing for Man United, not playing for your player FC.
Your
You're playing
brand,
for Ineos, Manchester United. That's what you are. And I think, Mark, God bless him, Marcus Rashford. I wish him all the best in the world. But I don't think he's Man United quality anymore. Seriously, I don't.
bro.
In fact, I'd sell Rashford and get Mason Greenwood back. Seriously.
Bro, man, feel like paying you to say this, you know. Are you telling you people will say I paid you to say that, bro? You know,
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Mason Greenwood has got Man United in his heart more than Marcus Rashford. I'm sorry, like, but that's the truth. And when we're looking at a player, if you pardon me what I'm saying now, the Snowflake FC who don't want Mason Greenwood back, that guy will go somewhere else and ball somewhere else. And then you'll all be giving it this. Why did we get rid of him? Because of you dickheads. That's why we got rid of him. You understand what I'm
facts,
saying,
bro.
Mark?
100%. You see, this is the thing why I keep asking fans what it is they want. What they want. They want players who go and run through brick walls for the club. They want players who go and run non-stop for 90 minutes. They want players who go and, when they get that ball, something could happen. Or you want to be the team that looks amazing. Because it's either you want to look amazing or be amazing. Football don't work both ways. It's either you have the best squad on the pitch or you have the prettiest squad to look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Something for me, the best footballers is not always the nicest guys. I don't expect
no,
none of musicians, stars, actresses, actors. I don't expect them to
come
be
on.
amazing people. I just expect them to do a great job and entertain. Be whoever they say they are, and that's it. You know what I
I was
mean?
just looking at, sorry, Mark, I was just looking at Metal Ball Games comment there. Disagree with Peter there. Rashford is United quality, but doesn't have the work rate. I tell you what, mate, you want to go and spend £3,000 like I done last season, watching that fucking guy stroll, and he couldn't even walk like Michael Jackson. You understand what I'm saying? And if you think that's what Man United quality is, you need to find another fucking team, mate. Seriously, because that's not Man United quality at all.
True, bro. Like,
Seriously, that's not
Well,
even League Two quality. His
mental is a big
performances
one, though.
last
Eh? I
season.
don't think you mean it like that, bro. That you
I
know me,
you know,
but
I
but
respect his comment, but I'm saying that's not Man United quality.
no,
I
I
seen
don't
that
agree with that
guy
either.
sandbag.
True. In my opinion, is work rate, talent, effort. All the three things, that is what it takes to be a Man United player. Like, you can't. Alex Ferguson said it best. You could be the most talented guy on the field.
Man,
You could be the hardest worker. But you have to have that X factor. And if you don't have that X factor, you're not a Man
you're not going to
United
make.
player.
I mean, you know what? I don't. You've probably seen it, Mark, in chat. Yeah, you've seen the overlap with Roy Keane and Patrick Vieira. Yeah, it was on YouTube the other day. No, the
Mm,
overlap. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
listen to them two champions talk about how they used to play against each other. They literally wanted to murder each other, but the respect they had for each other and the way they played the game made them the players they were because they had to be champions to beat each other. That's what we need. Them quality players. We need players to be pushing players to be to get to the echelons of what they should be, not
100%.
just I've got the money. No, no, I mean, no way. There's no way. I've sat, you know me, Mark. I've sat there at Old Trafford all season, and there's not one game where I've gone, wow, what an absolutely fantastic game. We are
Yeah,
Manchester United people. This is not acceptable to go a full season without going, wow,
that's
didn't we
amazing.
beat the shit out of people there?
Yeah,
That's not good enough.
it
It's just
isn't.
not good enough.
Can I be honest?
100%.
Can I be honest? In United, we've got too many purple patch players that play when the time is right, as in when there's a contract up for grabs. But as soon as nothing's at jeopardy for them, they stop playing. I don't think that's quality. When somebody
Yeah,
shows up when their, I guess their contract is on the line,
yeah.
but don't show up when they're comfortable, that's not quality.
No,
That's just self-preservation from them. They want to preserve their contract. They want to preserve their status as a United player, but that's
100%, my
not
man.
quality. Quality is irrespective of whether I've got a 5-year contract on the books or in my last year. I'm playing to the best of my ability. That's just me being good and having the right mentality. That for me is what I class as quality. And I think the problem is we're so used to crap and calling every single Tom, Dick, and Harry world class
Yeah.
that we don't actually recognize greatness when we see it. We think
100%.
every person who can kick a football is great, and that's not true, in my opinion.
You know what, guys? Right, listen. I've put it on quite a few chats over the last 6 months. Yeah. If Ineos do not get this right in the next 2 seasons, Kobe Mainu will be at Real Madrid. Make no
Bro,
mistake about that. We
bro,
will not keep him. The guy is too
100.
good. I'm not wax lyrical him. He's not a finished article by any means. But Kobe Mainu is going to be an echelon player.
Echelon. I tell
You
man,
understand what
you
I'm
remember when
saying?
I was telling men
And
about that the first couple of weeks of the season, or man was telling me,
yeah,
Peter, I was like, bro,
yeah,
where you getting that? I said, bro, I watch this fella play week in, week out for the
yeah,
youth team. And all I could see is him playing in our team under Ten Hag. You know, and for me, yeah, at the end of the day, you want a player with talent, ability, but most of all, you want them to give that effort. And
yeah,
Kobe Manu, if it's one thing no one could ever say about this fella, is that he doesn't give that effort every game he get a chance.
yeah,
And that's all you want. Listen, I could you could sit here and argue about who's world class and who is this but when we look at the game, you want to see your players sweating. You want to see them fellas
yeah,
running hard. You want to see them fellas tired because you know that when you're seeing that these fellas giving everything, and you know once the team gives everything, usually we tend to win,
yeah,
but we
yeah, of
have not
course.
been. And in the last, and mind the injuries, mind the missing players and absences, mind the sagas that we had this season. We didn't have that consistent effort,
No, we didn't.
and
It
that's the
does.
biggest
It,
problem.
it does make a difference. I mean, you know, I mean, I just, I just want your thoughts on this player, Mark, yeah, and chat. He's not been picked for England, but I think he had a real decent season at Man United. Harry Maguire. Would you keep him as a bench backup?
A bench backup, most certainly. And
I would,
for
yeah, I
me,
would myself.
a lot of people might think I would not say that, but I would tell you this one, no, right now, right? When I like just like I said before, when a guy earn his bread, you have to
Yeah,
eat it. And we one, and if you want to go even further, I will say this: we cannot afford to just get rid of every single of the dead wood in this one summer. We don't have the money to replace them. So we had to keep it realistic. I rather sell Victor Lindelof than sell Harry Maguire right now. I
yeah,
rather sell
that's
Luke
true.
Shaw than sell Harry Maguire right now. Because
Yeah,
you want to know something? Harry Maguire, with his performance this season, he might not have been the best centre back in the league, But you see that mentality that he awakened this season?
yeah.
This is what you want young players coming into this team to see, to emulate. You know what I mean?
You know what, Mark? Yeah, you know what? Harry Maguire is this for all the troubles and strifes he's had and the lack of ability now. Perseverance won the day for him, didn't it? He,
Determination, effort,
he won an FA Cup.
perseverance.
Perseverance won the day for him, and that is an ability itself. That okay, maybe
100%.
I won't be the star boy, I won't be the best player, I won't be lightning fast, I won't be this and that. But you know what? You can rely on me. I'll be there.
Exactly.
You can rely on me.
And let me tell
And
you
fair
something.
play to him.
Yeah, you
I've
need
slagged him
guys
off,
like that,
and
bro.
I've apologised as well
Me too.
for
I
that.
slagged them off the season before. You know how many own goals?
But
After the fifth one, I couldn't take it no more. I
I'm
even
not
apologized to
apologizing for
Onana
it.
this season.
I did
I even
not apologize
yeah,
for him. You did bad that year. You did bad that year. It is what
nah,
it
nah,
is.
nah. Nah,
You
but
like no wait. He did bad that year.
true.
That is the truth, right? And this year he didn't do bad. That's also good too. Like two things can be right. I'm not gonna apologize for what I said because what I said is right. The way I see it is like Indians have a work on their hand, and now Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox, and Dan Asher have more work on their hand because now they're gonna be fighting this manager. Because again, this is what I said. They should just sack the manager and get over, just start fresh. Because again, you didn't bring this manager in. You might go one route, and this manager might say another route because this route worked. It like having like two people going up against fighting for like 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 Ineos is up here. Then you have ETH here and the board directors here. Like they're both on the same level now. They're on the same level now. Because again, that's why I said the report says Bracefield and Ratcliffe says ETH should stay. Dan Ashworth, Wilcox, and Omar Barada haven't said nothing yet. So now if they're coming and say, "Oh, we want this guy gone," so what? So what?
Yeah.
Next? They could just say, "Oh, we want this guy gone." Then Ratcliffe could say, "Oh, nah, we want him to stay because we hired them or we gave him the +1." Because I
Um,
said they're both on the same level now. You know.
technically, Wilcox was already working with Ten Hag for
No,
the
no,
last
bro,
9 weeks, 8 weeks.
They said Wilcox officially coming in July.
No,
Is
bro.
that a
Wilcox
rumor?
has been
He's been
in.
in for a
He's
while.
been working for the last 6 weeks, bro.
He's
Wilcox has been in
actually
3 weeks
he's
before the
spoken
FA
to the
Cup.
players as well, and I think that's where the kick from the backside
It's
came from was when Wilcox spoke to the players. I don't know what he said, but he said something to those guys. The one thing I will say, guys, is that I think as United fans, and I think it's because we're so used to winning, guys, you have to understand we are dealing with 10 years of hoarding crap, and we're
Yeah.
expecting people to come in and just clean up that in a matter of seasons. There's crap. And unfortunately, in that house that you're moving in with all the hoarding, you have to prioritize which crap needs to get out so you can make it a livable house. That's
Yeah.
all we're trying to do right now is to make it a livable environment. It's
Yeah.
exactly.
been
That's it.
unlivable for 10 years, guys.
That's it.
100%.
Yeah.
You
That's
can't
it.
ignore that context.
That's why they keep in Eric Ten Hag, because it's one problem off the list. While they prioritise other problems. You understand what I'm
100%.
saying? And of course, kudos to Eric Ten Hag. He's just won the FA
Yeah,
Cup.
yeah.
It would be a bit callous with a man who's got 1 year left on his contract to sack him.
Especially
Yeah,
when it
I
does
mean,
better in
you
the
could
market.
look at this viewpoint, guys. Yeah, they could have sacked. They could have done a Louis Van Gaal on Eric Ten Hag, sacked him after the FA Cup. Yeah, we're in a state of flux at the moment. The club. Yeah, you got another manager in. He's giving it. Listen, I don't know what's going on. What's up? What's down? What's left? What's right? Next minute, 12 months later, the new manager he got in, he's been sacked. You get what I'm saying? So they've looked at the situation and gone, well, keep Ten Hag there. That's it. It's not a problem.
As,
What will be
as
next season will be next season. But what they must do now is obviously they can't give Eric Ten Hag everything he needs, but you've got to help him at least.
Yeah.
You've got to get players for him. You can't just go, there's the squad, what you've got, crack on with it. Because it's not going to work, is it?
No,
So
you
they've
need to
got
get
to help him.
defenders. Now, look at it this way, Tano. Look at it this way, guys, right? Whether or not we get, we could say we getting players for the manager, but we getting players in the profile that would
Yeah,
suit his style
that's
and
it. Yeah,
also suit Manchester United. Because let's be real, we want to play possessive, attacking football.
yeah.
So at any given rate, we all of us would like to have Todibo. All of us would have liked to have a Benjamin Sesko type player, a João Neves type player, a Joao Gomez. All of us would like to have these type of players. Whether we are
Xavi Simmons.
Xavi Simons, me and you, we wanted a Xavi Simons since last summer, but we didn't get him. We wanted a Marcos Leonardo, we didn't get him. But the thing is, the most important thing is we got to remember the players that we have to get into the team right now have to
Yeah,
supplement the style of football we want to play. This manager just literally going to coach that style of football. We don't need to argue about what Barada, what Ashwood going to stay, because let's be realistic. Gareth Southgate can coach possessive attacking football. So if Gareth Southgate was to be Ashwood's favorite guy, you know, we're not going to be playing that style. We're going to play a back five.
yeah, yeah.
And it's the same thing with if if he was to say he going to get a coach like Eddie Howe, Eddie Howe is play a back five. Realistically, it's a back five, right? So you have to look at it progressively. Like, yo, they came to a decision. We sticking with the style of football and terminology of attacking possession base. Ten Hag coaches that. We will bring in players for that style. If we
Yeah,
have to change this manager, we bring in our next manager who going to coach attacking possession based football. The end.
carry on the process, Mark. Yeah, carry on the
Exactly.
process.
Now,
You
saving
know,
time
Mark.
and energy.
Sorry, mate.
Mhm.
You know we have a shitload of top class youngsters coming through. You know, because we follow the youth team. They're not
Mhm.
ready yet. So, like Kobe Mainu wasn't ready, but we got lucky and he stepped up.
Yeah, Stan.
We've got at least 5 players in 2 seasons who will be first teamers. You know that, don't you, Mark? You do. We need what we call bridge players to slot in now to the system, the team, to take us to the point where these players can then come in and bolster the team and then crack on. That's what
Exactly.
we're in. Again, I use this terminology. We're in a state of flux. That flux
100%.
means we could epically flop or we could win things. You're just going to have to be patient with the process. you know, that's it. Even if you had £1 billion to spend, you're still not going to fix the problem because it's the infrastructure, the mentality of the squad and the system is not in place. It needs to be put in. That's
100%.
that's what we're doing. This is what we're doing now. Um, like Jay United said there, I want Xavier Simmons so bad. You know what? Bring Mason Greenwood back. Man United player through the academy. Forget what the snowflakes think about him, what he done, this or that. The guy never went to court. Guy wasn't caught, found guilty of anything. He's with his wife. He's married his girlfriend. He's got a kid with her. End of story. Man United player. Come back home, Mason. We want
Yeah.
you.
We need,
Um, I,
listen,
I found the article and it says by the end of the process led by United co-owner Jim Ratcliffe and Eno sporting director Sir Dave Bracefield, the choice was made to move forward to Hog. Again,
right.
Wilcox had nothing to do with it.
Wilcox has been working in this. Bro, Wilcox been working since 3 weeks before the FA Cup. What
Yeah,
are you
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
Wilcox was also placed in charge of recruitment until John Ashwood comes in.
Yeah.
Again, this is what the article said. We all go by
That's
the
what that
article, right?
article says. But
And
what I'm
that's
saying
the
to
same
you,
article that said ETH staying, you know.
right, right, but understand what I'm saying. They're not going to quote every single body. They quote the major players, which is Brailsford and Sir Jim. So Dave Brailsford is the head axeman. He is the man who's going to fire everybody. Just remember that. Sir
Yeah.
Jim is the owner. That's the
Oh,
leader. So
so
the
let's go
two
back.
head men, the man on his right hand, is the man they will put forth as the decision makers. But we already know Jason Wilcox has been working, bro. Jason Wilcox was at the FA Cup game. Jason
Oh,
Wilcox
okay,
was dealing
okay.
with the
I
youth
get
team.
it.
You understand? So what I'm saying to you is this: look at it from this perspective, right? We have two parts of the major triangle that we need to facilitate this whole new structure that already
Yeah.
basically in board. Come next week, Omar Barada is on
Yeah,
his last week
Barada's
before he starts working.
Omar comes in July, it
Yeah,
says.
the first week in July.
And
So
Dan Ashford, there's no word on there.
yeah, I feel we might get Dougie Friedman, but you never know what could happen. We
Uh,
might get somebody else unknown from some other league. You never know. It might be another guy. But let me focus on what we have at the moment, and that's Jason Wilcox. And a lot of
Jason was a
fans,
technical director, though.
yeah, but Jason Wilcox is a very good recruitment specialist. He's developed a lot of young talent across Europe, and he recruits very well. He has a very good eye for talent.
And
If I list the amount of players he's helped develop in England, bro, you would be surprised.
also that it's always been reported that the problem hasn't been our scouting network. It's the lack of taking into account what the scouting network is saying. So a lot of the players that have come into the league, we've already found that because they're not shirt sales players, we've never bought them. So actually
Alvarez,
having a guy who knows his work, working with
Caicedo,
scouts who are good at their job, is a good thing for us.
Visa. You
You know what,
understand?
guys? I mean, we've got, again, this decision keeping Eric Ten Hag makes sense. Yeah. For a multitude of reasons. We've got the Euros, we've got the Olympics. Yeah. Obviously, we don't want Garnacho to play in the Olympics. Yeah.
Well, he says going to the Olympics, by the way, guys,
Well,
playing for
if he
France.
wants to go, you can't stop him from going, and you shouldn't stop him from going
True.
because the Olympics are the Olympics, aren't they? That's it.
Mm.
You know, obviously, we prefer our players not to play in there, but it is what it is. I think this is an opportunity for our scouting department to be looking further abroad for players
Mhm.
while everyone's concentrating on the Euros and the Olympics. Because let's face it, put it this way, yeah, here's an example. Let's say we're after Jared Branthwaite, yeah, and he's, I don't know whether he's picked for England. I don't follow international football. If I do, it's Brazil, that's it. You know what I mean? Um, and he has a good tournament for England. You're talking a £20 million at least on his
Mhm.
value. Yeah. So why don't we just let everyone, like the Chelseas, the Man Cities, and Newcastle's, focus on the Euros and go? There's your players. If they have ball in tournaments, hey, oh, go make go buy them. Go look to South America because there's a glut of talent over there. Like
Answer
Box just
me.
said there,
Answer me.
Anselmino at Boca Juniors.
I mean, it
Yeah.
could. It have a young midfielder we could buy from Trinidad if man want to. We destroyed Canada the other day.
But the
Destroyed
thing
Jamaica.
is, Mark, though, the thing is, yeah, look at this. Moises Caicedo, £5 million.
Bro, we was getting
But,
Moises
but
Caicedo for
balled at Brighton.
two million
Uh,
pounds, bro. Before
I
Brighton buy
don't,
him.
I think that obviously the past season, for me, he's kind of struggled at Chelsea, which I don't think it's his fault. I think he's been in the wrong environment, Caicedo,
Mm.
he has. But you could imagine Caicedo paired up with Mainu, couldn't you? You know what I mean?
It have our next
And
youngster.
there's players there. We could go and spend, guys, £30 million and buy 5 players at least from South America. Take chances on them. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. What, you've lost £30 million? You could end up with 3 ballers out, couldn't you? You know what I mean? Because they're there to be bought. They're there to be picked. And one, you don't have to give them big contracts. You're talking what, 30, 40 grand a week?
Mhm.
Oh man, they rip your arm off to get that. People from South America.
Yeah.
100%.
I hate to say this thing, but
No,
from
it's
an
facts, bro.
impoverished
It's
part of
facts,
the
bro.
world.
Like
But you know
I
what I'm
from
saying?
I
And it's
from that
there.
side
It's
of the
there.
region, bro. And £1 is $11.7 for me, bro. £1 is
One
$11.7,
pound is
bro.
like 20 something rand, I think, in South Africa.
Exactly, bro. So
And
let's be real.
you know what, guys? The beauty of it is you're going to buy a player that actually wants to play for you.
Hundred
See?
percent, bro. Like, bro, fellas in South America and the Caribbean, CONCACAF, they dreaming to play for
Yeah,
clubs like every single day since they're like 12, 10, 8.
of
Every
course.
day running around. Zizou, da-da-da. You know what I mean? So for me, guys, we need to be creative in this window. We need to have a
Yeah,
little patience. We are a team in flux. We get in some signings that could improve us next season. The following season, 2025-26 season,
that's it.
is
Yeah,
our season. I telling man them. A lot. I was afraid. Honestly, I've been real honest, bro. I was super terrified with sack Ten Hag because I was saying we are going to fall further before we could start rebuilding. I was saying
yeah,
2028. But if we keep Ten Hag, there is that slight possibility of an exponential increase in performance. And this is because the team that was there last season, as bad as they were,
yeah.
you know what they have learned? They've learned what is expected of them in this style
That's
of
it. Yeah.
football.
Well,
So
not
now
only that,
next season,
Mark. Not only that. Most importantly, Eric Ten Hag has learned that he cannot be one-dimensional in his way of thinking. He's got to think
100%.
outside the box. He
Hundred
done it
percent.
against Man City in the final. Instead of playing his batshit, I call it his batshit crazy Ajax style of play, he played the proper English type of game of football and beat Pep. And Pep was salty as hell at the end of that
Salty,
game.
salty, bro.
You know
You
what I
know,
mean? I thought you've won everything, you bitch. You every team you've won. Uh, uh, Man City, Bayern Munich, and Barcelona. You've had everything put on the plate for you. You've just had your ass handed to you, and you basically begrudged Eric Ten Hag beating you. It's like, why don't you fuck off? You Spanish fraud.
facts.
Why don't you go like
Bro, I couldn't say that in a better copy, a better accent than you, and I wish I had your accent to say that shit,
that?
bro, honest. Because trust me, bro, I was so pissed. Bro, listen,
Yeah,
if it's one thing I cannot take is a sore loser, bro. I could understand
yeah,
being a bad loser, but a sore loser, especially with Pep. You have the best squad in England, bro. I am like not only the best squad. You had this. You have a system that installed for the last 7, 8 seasons.
yeah.
And this is just my opinion. Man City has not been the Man City this season there was the season
No,
before.
Nope. They were
And
there for
the
the taking.
they
way
haven't.
the way we still prop it, like, bro, I'm not saying Pep is not an amazing coach. But what I'm saying is let's not exaggerate things. Right? Pep had a chance to prove he's the best English manager if he had beat us in the FA Cup.
Yeah,
Because that would have been the second time Man United could not stop them from winning a trophy in 2 seasons. And he
yeah,
couldn't do it. You beat Ten Hag. And this is thing I be telling man them. You beat Ten Hag once. You don't beat him the same easy way twice. You know?
yeah,
And if you look at some of the games, even with some of the games we lose, the first time we lost badly in some games, but the second time was a different story. And the third time and the fourth time is be different. Now we lost some games this season, and I'm not trying to say that he won't lose games. But you have to look at it from the other perspective that if you look at some of the performances in those games, it's individual errors.
yeah,
In the and amongst all those individual errors, how many errors in front of goal that we had where we could have scored many goals and did not take our chances? And I wouldn't blame particularly that on the manager, but on the players. And I'm not blaming it on the players in the sense that I hate them or don't like them. I blame it on them because the reality is that they're inexperienced. If you look at our attacking line, a lot of fans don't want to pay attention to this, but the only senior player in the attacking line is Marcus Rashford.
yeah.
Everybody else under 23, under 24. Anthony
That's
just
it.
turned
Yeah,
23. Hoyland just turned 21. Garnacho is 19. Menu is 19. The youngsters coming in. Ethan Whitley, he had a few games. He's 17. You know what I mean? Palestri was playing at the beginning of the season. He's 19. We have a lot of young players in our squad. And,
yeah.
you have to give them time to make mistakes and grow. And I know my boy Charles coming in here. I don't know what he going to say, Peter, but Vegeta, let's hear what Charles have to say. Big up,
Bro,
bro. What's
I
good?
was I was resting, woke up to the horrible news. I'm taking it as hard as the next guy. Been punching the air, screaming in my pillow. But all that is done. It's dusted. It is what it is. I said I will back Ineos. Bloody hell, they've done me dirty. This is not how you want to start a relationship, but it is what it is. We're already in it, toxic or not. We're going to ride with Ineos to the very end.
I just
Uh,
want to
Charles
ask
got
one
done
question
dirty,
there
man.
before you continue. One question I want to ask you. Is
yep.
there any opening that he could prove you
Mark,
to be a
rephrase that.
fan?
Charles just
Listen,
said he
yeah.
got done dirty, and you went, "Is there any opening?"
I said, I believe
Oh.
on one of these calls,
Peter,
I said if this guy stays, we're going to be doing a whole new formation and everything next season. Brother, the only way this Ten Hag guy wins me over is with results. You cannot
Yeah,
argue with results. But
100%.
if
That's
by
very true.
January I'm seeing the same thing I saw last season, brother, Ineos, Ineos, questions need to be asked.
yeah.
Questions need to
Nah,
be
that's fair.
asked.
That's actually
That's
fair.
all I'm going to say.
Can I just say, Mark, you guys were talking about being frugal earlier on. And the more you guys spoke, I just heard Ralph Ragnick, because that was literally his strategy. And that was what his suggestion was. He was saying, guys, there's players out here, first, second contract, they good enough, get them on. And we got rid of him. Maybe try get him instead of Dan Ashworth and wasting money and time and gardening leaves and
Bruh,
all of
Ralph
this.
Ragnick. I want to remind people, right? When they say best in class, just remember Ralph Ragnick for 60 million is what he asked the board for in
Yeah.
2021. 60 million, all right? And I'll go and tell you all the list of players he was getting for that 60 million. Julian Alvarez, Christopher Nkunku,
Because they don't.
Gavardiol, Caicedo, Luis Diaz. It have two more players. Hold on. Was it? It have two more. It's not a German fella in it. Which one? Bro, I
Who is
already called
going
5
for
players.
60? Who is going for 60 million, by the way?
Bro, no, I'm saying is he wanted to buy those players when United
For
scouted
60 million.
these
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
prospects before they came to the league, right?
For the
Julian
last.
Alvarez, Enzo Fernandez, Julian
Yeah.
Alvarez, Caicedo. Yeah, there was those players, bro. The man was going Nkunku, Gavardiol. He was getting all of those players for less than 60 million. That's how much he asked the board for. You could go
Crazy,
back
man.
and check the article. He asked the board for 60 million, bro. 60. Not 100, 60. Right? And look at the amount of players and look at where all these players are right now, bro. We would have
Yeah.
been doing well to have these fellas in our club right now. To be fair, we have them fellas in our club right now. We would be sitting pretty thinking about what we're going to do next season.
You know what, Mark, guys, right? While we're on it, yeah, Ralph, this is a good topic now. Obviously, Ralph will never be back at Man United for obvious reasons for what he said.
For shame.
It is a shame, yeah, but you know, the beauty of it is at least he opened the can of worms to put things right per se, if you get what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Eric Ten Hag needs to change his number 2 and number 3 for me next season. Steve McLaren needs to go. I do not see what Steve McLaren is doing at Man United. I do not see it. He needs a dynamic number 2 backing him. He just sits there, Steve McLaren. How can I put it? He was like, well, who was it? The other number 2 off the top of my head. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? I think he needs a more dynamic number 2 behind him, Eric Ten
Well,
Hag, to help
well,
him.
the funny thing is, you talk about that, Peter. Eric Ten Hag wasn't allowed to bring his coaching staff that he initially wanted to bring when he was
Yeah,
coming to sign. He was only allowed to bring in two people with him. One of them was somebody he had to choose out of a group of people selected by United, and that
yeah,
was how we have Steve McLaren. He brought Mitchell van der Gaag, and the rest, and the club hired Benny McCarthy. So
yeah.
maybe Sir Jim and them might allow him to bring in his staff that he was originally wanted to bring
Yeah.
in, or people that he would like to bring in, and that will change things because the biggest problem is we want to play attacking, expansive football, but we have coaches who all they were coaching for the last 5 seasons or more at the club was counter-attacking football.
That's what I was
So you
thinking of. Sorry,
understand,
Mark. That's what I was thinking of. Mike Phelan
Mike
under
Phelan,
Ollie. That's what
exactly.
McLaren is with Eric Ten Hag.
But
But
Mike Phelan was under Ten Hag until recently. He just got
they're
fired.
ex Man United legends, and they just stand there, and it seems like they just don't help the manager today. You understand what I'm saying, guys? They don't. So yeah, like you're saying, yeah, Eric Ten Hag I think he needs a more dynamic number 2 helping him. He needs to change it up, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He
he
needs to.
does.
He needs to,
The biggest,
get a
the
bit of
biggest
punch in there. Get a bit of punch in the
100%.
team.
Get some new blood in, some new guys
Yeah,
with some new ideas who willing to take risks that could deal with this. The type of players that we have coming through, and it's really true. It's a different era of players and stuff like that. But
yeah.
I think the biggest change that we're gonna see, and we're gonna start hearing a lot of information about this soon, is the overhaul of the medical department, which is quietly happening in a very aggressive manner. And I would like people to pay attention to what's going on because there's going to be a lot of layoffs at Manchester United over the next
Good.
2 months.
They need to
Bro,
go to a lot of them. Mark.
bro, listen, they're aim to
They
cut the
do,
staff
man.
by 40%, right? And they want to bring in some new staff with some new ideas. They want to have a state of the art medical room. This is why Carrington is under construction. It won't be finished for another 3 weeks. It's been working
Yeah,
day 24 hours construction at Carrington. So, guys, things are happening. But you have to
yeah,
also remember, right, with the amount of issues United have, it was always going to be something that takes time. You know what I mean? So, yes, Ineos may not be moving as fast as we expect them to. Yes, this rebuild is taking a lot longer, more indirect cost than we expected to be a straight shot to the victory line. But you have to remember, all things is happening in perfect order. We
yeah,
possibly got the manager. You never know, and this is the funny thing, guy. The manager we have is a manager that we wanted as fans. The players that we have, we know we are always going to replace some of these players and upgrade on them. So that's a given. We finally have a structure coming in, which will definitely benefit us going forward. So,
yeah.
Voltron is forming up. It's just taking a lot longer than we expected, not in the perfect order that we hoped.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Mark, obviously, we all know the rumours. United are in for Elise. What do we want to buy Elise for? 60 million. We've got Ahmad and Palestri on the right wing and Anthony. So, what do you want to buy another right winger for?
We have too much wingers, bro. We
Well,
have
we
like
don't need
seven
him.
wingers.
We don't need him.
We're not even
We should
talking
be saying
about the
to Crystal
youngsters coming up.
Palace, if you want
Exactly.
us to buy Elise off you, we've got 3 white wingers. We'll give you 20 million for him. How does that sound? Oh
Yeah,
no, we don't want that. Okay, then go get 60 million off someone else then.
hundred
Goodbye. Have a nice
percent.
day. That's it.
Exactly. This is the funny thing, like now I'm all for bringing in some players, to bolster the squad and stuff like that. But I want to bring players in positions that we actually need. I don't know about you or Peter, but I definitely am one of those fans that I couldn't care less if we sign Olise or not. And it's
No,
simply
I
because
don't want him.
I
I
don't
don't
think
want
we
him.
need any attackers. I think we need to focus on who we get in to plug the defensive holes in centre back position, one
We
and
need
two. Because
two
we
centre
need
backs, Mark. We
two.
need 2 centre backs.
But
We
you
need
see,
two.
the problem is that United fans are addicted to attackers. That's the damn problem. And you remember Peter said
No,
the wise thing to do is to build a solid foundation. You don't win or do well in a league campaign without a
no.
defense. You just we are living proof of this. It happened to
Yeah,
us. We had no defense, and poor Onana had to face a world of shots. So my
yeah.
opinion is that people need to stop it with the attacking players. It's not and you can't fix everything this window. I think that's another thing that people need to be realistic about. We're not going to solve all of our problems within this one summer. No team has. Not Liverpool, not even City themselves. When Pep came in, he had to spend like 2 or 3 seasons reconstructing his backline. I think people
Exactly.
forgot.
Yeah.
You can't fix something in one go. Even
You,
if we
you,
sign, let's say, 2 centre backs, they might not work out, and he might want to buy more centre backs until he's got a solid backline.
Hundred
this is
percent.
it, Sammy. Yeah, yeah. This is what Arsene Wenger built Arsenal on. But this, if you don't let goals in, you don't lose games.
100%.
And you know how the song goes. 1-0 to the Arsenal, because 1-0 wins you games, doesn't it? You can
Yeah.
win by 6, 5, 4, whatever, but 1-0 wins you games. As long
3
as you
points.
don't leak a goal, you don't lose a game. At least you get a
100.
point out of the game. We've got Willie Campbell, who'll be promoted to the first team. Martinez, hopefully, touch wood, he can stay physically fit. Yeah, we'll keep Maguire and Johnny Evans as utility backup players on the
Mm-hmm.
bench. Yeah. Lindelof, see you, mate.
See
Goodbye.
you, mate.
Off you go. Ship off. Get 2 centre backs in. Maybe, I don't know. Look, top of my head. I quite like him. A lot of people don't. But I think Jared Branthwaite will complement Quambala and Martinez personally, because he's left footed as a centre back. We got another unknown, what you'd say per
Angelino.
se, centre back in who's young and dynamic. Yeah. And then we get a central CDM player that will help Kobe Mainu. That's our priority. Anything else is a bonus. But they're the core players we need
100.
for
I
now.
think I
That's
think
it.
we definitely need to get two centre backs. The only thing
Yeah.
with Jared Brantwaite for me, Peter, is the price tag, bro. Like
Well,
that
this
Yeah.
price
is it.
tag
Yeah.
terrifies me, bro. I feel like
It's
maybe if we do him as the last signing in the window, because we know we're going to spend 60 million at least. It's not
55
it's
million max, Mark. That's it.
max
55
with
million max.
add-ons. With add-ons.
Well, yeah, you can
Because we
also negotiate, like you say, you can negotiate things. I mean, we
yeah,
could
yeah.
ship players to Everton in the
True.
deal. You know
I
what I'm saying?
mean,
Can I be
now
honest?
that you say that, we gave them, we gave them James Garner for a pretty decent fee. I feel like they owe us one. They need to scratch our back sometime. You know what I mean? I feel like
Well, I mean, this thing is, Mark, Everton, Man United have always had quite a nice relationship in deals. You know what I'm saying? Players back into Rooney, obviously being the standout transfer. Cheers, Everton.
100%. For
And like
me,
you say, Garner, and
yeah.
there's been other players, and Phil Neville
I mean, we
went
could
to
send them. We could
Everton.
send them Hannibal. I feel like. I mean, we have quite a bit of players coming back from loan. I feel a lot of fans forget about that. We have Palestri coming back on
Well,
loan
well,
from
the thing
loan.
is, Mike, look
Dango
at this.
Junior.
If we recall Facundo Palestri on the right wing, and we've got Ahmed. I mean, Ahmed has to play next season. He has to. If
Yes.
not, then you might as well sell him because you're wasting his talent. Yeah.
Well, I
So that
mean,
means we're overloaded on the right wing. We could sweeten the deal with Everton for Braithwaite and say, you know what, 50 million, and we'll loan you Anthony for the season.
I ain't really supported that one, but
Mark doesn't like that
I
one.
could hear that. I could hear it. I could hear it. I could hear it. No, no, I fear, bro. I could hear it. It sounds like a plan. I mean, I was on say, we could give them a loan
Yeah.
with Palestri or something. But I mean, at the same time, bro, however we cut the deal is a deal. You know what I mean? Like at
Yeah.
the end of the day, we need to
Deals
get
are there
in.
to be done, aren't they?
Yeah, we need to get in as much players as possible. Like, I would certainly be looking to swap one or two players. Like, I mean, I would like to get Mark He at
I
centre back.
mean,
I
you
think
look at it from this viewpoint, from Anthony's viewpoint. If he's got competition on the right wing, he knows he's not going to get played. As long as he's getting his wages every week, yeah, he'd rather be playing football than sitting on a bench. Because sitting on the
100,
bench does nothing for you. So, okay, you go
100%.
play at Everton. If you go ball at Everton next season, you might get yourself a nice sweet deal somewhere else.
I mean, you might be able to come back and ball at United. You never know.
Well,
I mean,
exactly, yeah. It's a
like,
win-win.
at the
So
end of the
deals are
day,
there to be done.
also, I think we have Europa League next season. We have the Carabao Cup, we have the FA Cup, we have the league. We have four different competitions to give players
Yeah.
minutes next season. So I think yeah, we need to build the squad. We need to move on some players. Possibly going to move Jadon Sancho on, possibly Mason Greenwood. It depends on what happens. I've been hearing some rumors that they kind of have finding it hard with Mason Greenwood because the reason why they ask for all the money up front is because if someone is going to buy him outright, they're not going to do it on terms, because if they do it on terms and he performs well, they might rue the fact that they let him go. So
Yeah.
for me, it's one of those things where I feel like it's very possible that we could certainly have
Don't
some
forget, Mark.
breakthrough.
Yeah. Our official first game of the season is the Community Shield v Man City.
Mm.
Bags, we go bag them up. Yeah,
I,
bro. Listen, I want
will
to
be
tell
there
man
as
this,
well.
right? I will be there too. I will be there too. Trust. I go and get my tickets soon.
So,
The one thing I have to say.
we've got a lot of people don't realize this because a lot of people don't count the Community Shield as an official trophy. If you go look on the UEFA rules, the Europe Community Shield is classed as a Super Cup. It is an official trophy. It's an
100%.
important trophy to
I
win.
mean, the
It's your
only
first game
reason.
of the season, and you win it. Like people say, David Moyes won nothing at Man United. his first game, he won a trophy.
Yeah, he did. He won it. I mean, the only thing people will say, like, I mean, we used to negate the fact that he could the
You
you
got
know,
muted, Mark.
my bad. You know,
Yeah.
mostly because we kind of diminish the community shield because of Arsenal. You know how many times Arsenal won it, and they like to brag. So I think that's how come it became like that. But realistically speaking, I will say this now: if Mason Greenwood at United next season opening game
Yeah.
against Man City, bro, we beaten them for that community shield,
Make
bro.
it
Especially
happen.
with the new offside rule.
Yeah.
A The
Bro,
new rule is
the,
going to kill a lot
the,
of defenders next year.
Oof.
that new rule is going to murder teams like Arsenal, bro. It's at
Yeah.
certain teams, bro, that defenders they play to that rule to the old rule to a T. But
This back eye line, forget it next season. You're going to get
mm,
murdered.
bro,
You will get murdered by pace. What one
bro,
diagonal ball to wingers, like Rashford done to Garnacho in the FA Cup final, one diagonal ball, and you know what? You better bet Jesus is on your side.
Bro, the best thing about that is the automatic offside rule now.
Yeah,
With that ball, with the technology in the ball, it also is going to let people know when the ball cross the line outside of play and all these things as
yeah,
well. So we're not going to have to deal with those skeptical and subjective issues anymore.
yeah,
I think there's 100% of bonus, guys. You know what? And for a team like us, where we have a lot of quick wingers that like to get in behind, and we have a player like Bruno Fernandes. Guys, you
You
know
know
how
what?
many offsides we had this season? I just want to ask men if they know how many offsides Man United had.
No, I don't know, Mark. Actually, I've not
37
looked.
offsides, bro. 37
Eight,
offsides.
37.
And that's just in home games. So I mean, I'm not saying all of them would have been possible goals,
Right.
but at least 10.
You know what, right, Mark, guys, right? I was looking at the before we scored our second goal, the one Rashford scored.
Mm,
Yeah, I don't think that was offside. Did you notice how the TV never put any lines on it to say?
exactly. You
I don't
know,
think we was offside on that goal. I to me natural eye in the flow of the game. I thought that was a good goal, and I was
yeah.
surprised. It's like, okay, show me the lines. You know,
It
show
was
me
his
the
hand.
lines.
It was his hand that was off. Like and this is the funny thing for me, guys. Like honestly, I don't understand how offside is take a player hand into account
Yeah,
of offside.
You
Because
can't
as
even
far
use
as I
your hand.
concern, you can't use your hand to touch a ball.
exactly.
So if your hand offside, you're not offside unless it's your shoulder. I mean, for me, the tip of your toe and thing can't be offside,
Uh,
bro. It had to be body. It had to be like your shoulder, your waist, your
yeah,
knee. But if
you're
it's
up
your
at
toe,
torso. You're up at
yeah,
torso.
your upper torso,
Not,
bro. If it's your
never mind your
toe,
arms. You're up at torso
your
because,
upper
like you just
torso,
said there, Mark, as an outfield player, your hand is not active in a game. Only on a throw-in. That's it. It can't be active in a game.
we
The only
had
active hand in the game
17
is the
offsides.
goalkeeper's.
We had 17 offsides this season where the offside was ruled offside by a player's hand. I just wanted to put that out for fans to know. Just
That's
to know that.
crazy.
And
That
that is
is crazy.
insane.
Like,
Your hand is
you
not
know,
part of the game. Why the offside using hand as part of the measuring stick? For me, it's lost.
you know what? Right. I think this. Yeah. Personally, since I've been an advocate for VAR, I have because, like I said there, with our non-Marcus Rashford goal, the human eye can deceive you. It can,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I think humans are a flaw in VAR. I think robotics, AI intelligence should be ruling on AI, on VAR. Sorry,
100%.
AI.
I agree with that. Let
And
our
you
computer decide.
program in into the computer. This is the rules. This is what's offside. You're scanning the game because basically now every part of the game's being scanned anyway. The players have tags on them anyway, whatever, and let AI just determine what's offside. So, like you said there, Mark, if a player's arm or hand is offside, well, you can't actually use that as an outfield player. So that should
Big
not
up, Stuart.
be determined as an offside rule because
Stuart, the link is pinned if
it's
you want to come
defunct.
in. Sorry, Peter. The link is pinned if you want to
Yeah,
come in, Stuart. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I feel like if maybe if Peter, that idea is not bad at all. If they use AI and they give it the right programming, I feel
yeah,
like AI would also be able to give a better judgment on the momentum
and
of
quicker as well.
players in making challenges, and if it's controlled by the player, if it's beyond the player's control, if it's reckless, these kind of things will be easier, you know, computed by a computer. You know what I mean? A
Yeah,
supercomputer. So
exactly. Yeah,
yeah, you know what I
If
mean?
all
The
else
AI,
fails, they can always get the AFCON refs. I'm just saying.
bro, get the AFCON refs and let them advise and train a squad, bro. FIFA should just hire the AFCON refs and let them train all the other
yeah.
refs to do VR and just supply them to different leagues, bro. It shouldn't be all
I
these
mean,
sub.
you know what, guys? I watch rugby league. I follow St. Helens rugby league
Mm,
team. Rugby league do ongoing decisions while the games are in motion. And they do it, and they use, obviously, they've been using VR a lot longer than association football, rugby league
100%.
has. And, players get treated on the ground while the game's going on, and they do decisions while it's going on. It's easy, it's not hard to do. This is where sometimes when you look at things that go on, you think this is corruption going on here because they're manipulating what's going on. You don't
100%.
understand what I'm saying. And I don't care what anyone says. You get Pep Guardiola moaning about decisions. He's had the most VR decisions in his favour since it's been in motion VR.
100%. Him and Klopp. Between him and Klopp, no one has gotten
Yeah,
more these VR decisions unless you want to count in Arteta. But
yeah,
at the same time, look at it like this. I feel like 100% they need to automate most of these things.
yeah.
Take away a lot of the subjectivity. I think it should be more objectivity than subjectivity. There shouldn't be any subjectivity for the most part. I think that's what's ruining
Well, the
the
thing is, you,
decisions.
you, you see what could be a potential penalty decision. And it's like a couple of minutes later, sometimes even 5 minutes. Then you see the ref running to the halfway line. Even before the ref's got there, as soon as he's watching monitor, he's going to go penalty. Why the fuck do you need that guy to run there to go penalty when it's already a decision anyway?
Exactly.
It's nonsensical, isn't it? It's like, seriously, just get rid of it. If you can't implement a decent system, then just get rid of it.
100%.
You got linesmen or linespersons, whatever. Let's use the correct terminology. They know people are blatantly offside. They don't put their flag up, and then when they go and score a goal or miss a goal, whatever, they put the thing up. Do you not realise that player could get injured while you're not fucking putting the flag up to say they're
100%.
offside? Like someone could run in and take them out. If they're
Yeah,
offside, put the flag up. They're offside.
yeah, but that's part
Jesus,
of this
man.
new rule, right? That they added to the game where they play the game so that they don't have to stop the game all these
Uh,
times. It's a lot, bro. It's a lot. But the thing is,
crazy.
I'm just happy about the automated offside because I feel like automated offside takes so much away from the referee and will
Yeah,
keep the game moving quickly. I look at cricket, right? And I don't know about you guys, but in cricket, the
yeah,
ball that they use is tracked by a laser, right? That they could tell you the trajectory of each
yeah.
ball when a bowler bowl it. And I'm talking about the bowler bowl the ball, and in less than 30 seconds, you could see a
Yeah.
replay showing you a trajectory where the laser saying the ball traveled,
So either going
right?
to hit the stumps or LBW,
Yeah.
whatever.
You know
Boom,
what I mean?
straight away.
So for
Done.
me, simple things like that, we could get in football in terms to deal with the outside, the ball going outside of the ground, the terms of when players are making these 50-50 challenges, it might make it, you might
You
able
know
to
what?
determine who closer
You
to
know,
the ball, who got to the ball first easier.
you know what, Mark, right? I was just thinking there the irony of the VAR in cricket. Because you know how slow cricket can be. at times. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, they can do decisions rapid, quick. And the flip side of it is football's quick, but the decisions are slow. It's like you can't make it up, can you?
You
Really?
can't. You can't
You,
make it
you
up,
can't
bro.
make it up, can you? It's
Bro,
like,
quick.
well, man,
VAR decisions in cricket is happening in less than a minute,
yeah,
bro. 60 seconds max. The funny bit for me is that if you have all this technology, like this is just my opinion, right? If you have 6 screens in front of you, one of those screens should be in pure grid lines.
yeah,
You should not have to look at a screen and draw a line. It should
yeah,
already be there. You know, you should already have a monitor strapped in grid line so you can freeze frame. Okay, this line saying on side, boom, good to go. Quick
yeah,
is right. What is the point in having 6 screens if one of them don't have a grid line? That you have to draw a line. These things take extra, bro. Like, who thinks of these things?
yeah,
Who's getting paid to plan this nonsense, bro? These are the people we need to fire. You know what
yeah.
I mean? You're ruining football.
What it is, Mark, it's designed for the setup as it is now. I don't care. Anyone can click me. I don't care. I'll say it as it is. The way VAR is set up now, it's set up for manipulation. Do you
Yeah,
understand what I'm
I
saying?
agree. 100%. I agree with that. Vegeta, I don't know. You don't have to agree to that. You can set a disclaimer, but I 100% agree with that because I find some of these rulings. I watch that, if it's one thing I just look at, right? It's one thing I enjoy about watching football is the designs on the football field. And
Yeah,
recently, the Premier League, like La Liga and FIFA, they took away all these fancy designs, and it was like, listen, we just want straight lines going vertical, going horizontally across the pitch,
yeah,
right? So now that we have these lines, and these lines are in exact 5 yard measurements, right? There's a short line 5 yards, and there's a 10 yard measurement,
yeah,
right? So if you look at the grass, it's be like a light shade and a dark shade. The dark
yeah,
shade is 10 yards, the light shade is 5 yards, right? Now these lines are parallel to each other from
yeah,
the half line, the touch line on either side of the goalpost. Now, when in a game against Arsenal at the Emirates, the lines that they drew for Garnacho is not parallel to the line on the field.
no,
It
You
looks
need
like
to
a
see that, bro.
isosceles, bro. And the funny bit is Garnacho, and you could watch the same line or grass running across the field, right? And
Mm.
you could see where Gabriel Magalhaes is standing on the line of the grass because one line is light green and the grass in front of him dark green. And you can clearly see that Garnacho is behind the green grass. He's in the light green patch,
yeah,
both feet, right? And he was given offside. And these are the things for me that has make me feel like, bro, what are we doing here? When you look at some of the penalty decisions that are given, and this is the thing I always mention after games. When United have a penalty opportunity, I would say, the referee doesn't point to the spot first. He waits to go to the monitor.
yeah,
When other teams get a penalty call against United, he points to the spot first.
yeah,
You ever notice that?
yeah.
Mm.
I
If
have.
he
It's
was a
very
striker,
rare the ref. If you look at when United score a goal, how many times VAR has had to check that goal before we play on?
before
Twice
you
or
give it,
three
yeah.
times.
But you
But
know
when other
why?
teams score a goal, do they ever check? No. Goal.
No.
Goal.
You know what the problem is? You can't have English, and this sounds weird, but stick with me. You can't have English refs refing in the English league because whether we like it or not, we're people. We've got biases. You might not be a United supporter, but maybe you're a supporter of a team that United beat and they ruined your childhood. And we all know that power corrupts, right? That's just me personally, because
Yeah.
that's what it feels like. Klopp complains that we're getting too many penalties. There's no more penalties. Why don't you bring people who've got no incentive to be anti-United into the league? Getting refs from other, like we shouldn't be having the same refs from the same country in that same country. That's me personally. Because
Basically,
then you
what you're
take away
saying
the
is
bias.
it's like international football, different international refs refereeing in different international leagues,
Yes,
i.e., Spanish refs refereeing in the English league and vice versa. So there's no bias
there's no
per se.
bias.
Yeah, I mean, this
Another
is
thing you
why.
need to do is introduce consequences because at the end of the day, all we get is sorry, we ruined the game. We'll
Yeah,
try better next time. We actually need to start seeing heads roll, fines, demotions,
Yeah,
tangible, actual consequences so that refs take the job seriously. Because right now, there's no incentive for them to do their job well. If you think about it, it can be a
no, there
oopsie.
isn't. No,
100%.
I think we
100%.
need. I think we need an international ref schooling program. Personally, like you have obviously when you go to a club, you're schooled into playing for Man United or Liverpool. But refs are being schooled in how to ref from all nationalities, centralise it, and go, okay, this is how you're going to develop as a referee. Because, like the tech has said there, there's different levels of referees, isn't there? You understand what I'm saying? You know,
Mhm.
it's open to interpretation. Basically, can I say this? Kalina, can we clone him?
Yo, all I'm saying
Refs
is,
like Kalina, they're gone.
yeah, 100%.
These refs were echelon level, weren't they? They knew how to play the game, how the game was played. They knew when players were faking crap. They knew when challenges were genuine challenges that would get yellow cards now. But he's like, he's challenged. He's got it a bit wrong. No need to card him. Let the game go on. Blah blah blah. These refs, they're far and few between now, aren't they?
Yeah, the farm fever too. And I feel like, watching Colina referee a game and watching some of these English refs, it's chalk and cheese.
It is
Sometimes
chalk
I
and
get the
cheese, man.
feeling that these English referees want to impact the game more than the footballers in the game. I feel like, Kalina never really struck me as a ref that had to impose himself. He only
No,
imposed himself when players got disrespectful. Other than
yeah,
that, he let the game play on as much as possible. I think that's what fans want to see. A flowing game of football, penalize the bad tackles, be able to be diplomatic with players. Because if players realize, listen, they could play the way they want to play. But if they really truly have a bad tackle, they will get a cap. I
yeah,
think we
that's
see
it,
a
yeah.
much better football from a lot of players and not just Man United players, because I think the biggest thing about the refereeing recently is how it affected Casemiro's game overall. And a lot of
Yeah,
people don't notice that. A lot of
And
people
what?
say
But
Casemiro's been shit, but Casemiro has been terrified to tackle players. This is why
yeah.
he going into tackles late. This is why he missing tackles, because he terrified of getting a red card. He has gotten so many red cards at
You, you
United,
know,
more than he ever had in his entire
you,
career.
you know what, Mark? You saying that there about Casemiro, because he only got his first red cards in his club level playing at Man United, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you look at the league he came from, La Liga, where players, as soon as you, how can I put it, we used to have a saying back in the day, don't knock the TV, Jurgen Klinsmann will fall over, you know what I mean? Type of
100%.
league, where in Spain, how can, I'm not saying they don't dive in the Premiership, but they'll dive more in
In
Spain
Spain, yeah.
than what they do in the Premier League, and he never got a red card yet. When he comes to the Premiership, he got two red cards. That's a kind of an interesting train of thought there, isn't it? As in, was he targeted by referees?
By two
I know
particular
Michael
referees.
Oliver was
One
in.
particular refereeing team, in fact, because it was Michael Oliver and the guy who he assists, who's always his
Yeah,
assistant as well. So the
yeah,
funny thing is, a lot of fans don't look at these things because, for me, so much things is going to a football game, and so much things is going to why a player don't perform well. It doesn't just always be
yeah,
the player. Sometimes it's be the player mentality, but sometimes it's be factors around the player. And when I look at Man United squad as a whole, there's a certain point in the season we lost physicality because
yeah.
every time a Man United player made a tackle, they got a yellow card.
And he did, yeah.
You understand? You don't see,
Yeah,
and the funny bit is, we would play against teams that would tackle us dirty. Look at Fabian Shaw on Bruno this season. Fabian
yeah,
Shaw made a ridiculous tackle on Bruno. He didn't even get a yellow card. The
what
same
I
yeah.
thing
think
happened with
about
Bukayo Saka. Bukayo
the
Saka
Chelsea game.
lunged into a tackle, got Bruno on the ankles, didn't even get a red card.
Bro,
Gabriel
the Chelsea
Magalhaes,
game,
rugby
in my
tackle.
opinion, was horrible. The Chelsea game we lost, like it's almost as if the ref was blind. Like
Yeah,
Chelsea was tackling our players for fun, but the moment a United player just like sniffs in the direction of a Chelsea player, it was a foul. That was
yeah,
ridiculous. We shouldn't have lost the game.
McAllister hit a man a jump kick to chest,
yeah,
right? Maguire got a jump kick and a knee in his face, on two separate occasions from McAllister. He didn't get a yellow card. What's this other guy named? He went to the World Cup. Joe Gomez. He going to the Euros. Joe Gomez hit Wan-Bissaka a jump kick to chest.
yeah,
His boots left a print on Wan-Bissaka. He had to go and
yeah,
change his jersey. Right? No, he got a yellow card. That's supposed to be a red. Bro, his feet, he was already chest high.
yeah.
Understand what I'm saying? The ball already passed him. He chest high kicked him out. And listen, we had a bad season, so I'm not even complaining. But it's just something that fans need to consider. We always,
Yeah.
always hated, never ignored. You understand? So,
It,
guys, I know I
like I
was meant
said,
to.
Mark, it's the standard of refereeing is it's poor. It is. It's poor. The standard needs. I don't Vertega said there. Maybe the answer is international refs from different nationalities reffing in, say, the English league and vice versa. So there's no bias because there is bias. I know Michael Oliver, we mentioned him,
Newcastle
we
fan.
sing his name, oh, Trafford, you scouse bastard. Like, any chance he can give against Man United, he will give it. Like, he will.
100%.
He doesn't hesitate. I've seen it. There, I go to games. I've seen them. I've seen them. The whistle's in the mouth before the challenges come in. Put it
100%.
that way. And it's like, yeah, okay, yeah.
Bro, that was the
You know what I
same guy
mean?
that gave Dallo 2 yellow cards in 30 seconds and
But
never did it to another player for the rest of the season. Insane.
crazy.
So, guys, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you guys for joining us. Big up to you, Peter, for coming in.
No
Vegeta,
problem, man.
thank you so much for joining me, bro. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Mental ball game, Yali. Thank you for being here. Big up
yeah.
to you, Jarvis, coming in
Vertega.
late. Big up to Stu
Gav.
Wally, DK Wilson on the island. Jack off coming in. Big up to you, Broski. Ten Hag in, Luan France. GB was in here earlier. Box, J United. Thank you for all of you guys coming in and showing love. Those of you still watching, don't forget to smash a like and subscribe if you haven't done so before. And those of you on X, a like retweet would be very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm sorry I couldn't keep the stream going on for another 45 minutes, Scorsese moments, but
Slate.
I work in the morning. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure Peter's got stuff to do, and Vegeta, well, I
yeah.
know you got the misses. So, guys, thank you for joining us. It's been a really
Cheers,
good
all.
show. Interesting views from all around, different opinions. You saw guys who were, Ten Hag out, Ten Hag out, Ten Hag in. Manchester United fans were all united about one thing: United being the best team in England, winning
Yeah.
titles, being back at the top. It's always going to be agenda number one for us as fans. Big up to all of you and thank you for coming. And you know
And
what? Ten Hag
just before
stays.
you go, Mark,
Big up, Peter. Definitely, we will be kissing some more trophies again next season. I forgot I had to say that. Ten Hag is here, and now we can be a little bit, a little bit breezy because you know what? I think the eras are really coming to an end for a lot of clubs. Pep, might be leaving soon. There's lots of different things happening with the league. And who knows? Man United could have a 10 times better season next season.
you
Last
never
season
know.
was already done and dusted. We have Europa League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and the Premier League next season to be looking forward to. We need a squad that's going to fight for those on all fronts. And we need to bring
Yeah,
some players in, rebuild the squad. We need to back this manager, back this team, stand strong because the league, it's coming. We're going to be seeing it all over again in a few months. But right now, coming on Friday, the transfer window open, guys. Let's see if
yeah,
there's going to be some quick, fast fire signings and exits as the manager has just been confirmed. Ten Hag is here to stay. There's some talks of a contract extension, waiting to get some more information, whether it's going to be just a plus 1 year or if it's going to be a 2 year to a 3 year contract extension. We will be having this news breaking as soon as it breaks. Big up to all of you joining. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great night, guys, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Cheers. Yes, everyone. Listen.
And guys, yes, Eric Ten Hag was confirmed by David Ornstein. He's going to be staying, and there are talks for a contract extension. Thank you very much for joining us. Big up to you, Luan France. Big up to you, Ilian Tenno. Big up to you, Vegeta. Have a good night from your boy, MarkN MUFC fan. You know what it is, guys. Smash those likes and subscribe.